Welcome, you beautiful real estate entrepreneurs. It's 2025. Oh, I am so excited about this year, and I'm so excited about this show. We've got Tom Kroll, absolutely incredible. I'm sure that you've missed him over the last couple of weeks. We've got Spencer Caldwell, who wholesales, no joke, guys, wholesales between 3 and 10 deals every single day and has blown our minds. And then we've got Dean Rogers, who's doing amazing things out in California. And then we've got Rafael Cortez, who's going to be talking about it feels like a new marketing channel, but it's like the oldest marketing channel of all time, door knocking. And so we're going to really deep dive into all of that, because today's show is all about adding 25 deals to 2025, whether that's your first 25 deals or that's an extra 25 deals. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to show you how to really look at all of the data and look at your numbers and look at your results so that you know what your expectations should be. Okay. Now I want to start with this. Okay. When we start out, can you zoom in on this, Luke? When we start out, it's not like we don't start out at zero, right? We don't start out, oh, I'm just getting started, right? We almost start out negative, right? We almost start out at this -5 number. I like putting this in here because it makes sense to me when I was getting started and getting going. Is you start out and you have to get through a lot of self-doubt. You got to get through a lot of not really knowing what actions to take on a daily basis. So that takes some time to build up. But I want to really put this in your head, and I put this in the opening of the show, is to stack the small wins, okay? If you move from a -4 to a -5 to a -4, that is a win. To a -3, to a -2, to a -1, and then you get to your first deal, all right? This is all just building up the momentum, but don't get frustrated in that first 90 days. All right, don't get frustrated. Just stay consistent and fall in love with the process. Fall in love with learning this, all right? Mindset comes from skills. Building skills take time. Building skills take reps. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is the only way to build up skills, right? Steph Curry doesn't worry about shooting free throws because he shot 1 million free throws, right? And so take the reps. Go through the rejections, go through the self-doubt, go through some of the heartbreak that happens as an entrepreneur, because that gives you the ability to serve more and to serve better. And that's what we're here for, to serve the community, to serve the marketplace, to help people sell their houses and help people find really great opportunities. Remember this. When you are wholesaling real estate, when you are finding, and wholesaling real estate is the art of finding discounted properties, but there's a little bit of nuance to that, right? Because when we offer, the price that we offer to the seller is the as-is offer. We make our money from the buyers because they pay us based on how they recognize the potential in that opportunity. It's beautiful. The seller doesn't pay us. The buyer pays us by recognizing, okay, that property right now I can buy for 100,000. If I put 40,000 into it, I could sell it for 215. I can make $35,000, and I need to do that 3 times a month. Bring me as many of those deals as possible, and they pay us $10,000 to do it. Does that make sense to anybody? If there's any mystery to that, make sure that you put it in the chat here. And then if you're watching this later, put it in the comments section. There should be no questions that go unanswered. Okay. This is a participation. That's why we do this live, right? But just remember this, stack the small wins. If you go out and you drive and you find a house that needs significant renovations, that's a win. You go and find that phone number or knock on that door, that's a win. You go and follow up with anybody that says that they want to sell their property, that's a win. All of these things are a win, but just make sure that you understand fundamentally that this business comes down to conversations and offers. The more conversations, the better conversations, the better the skills that you have at communicating effectively with property owners and investors, the more you're going to make and the faster that you're going to make it. And then the more offers that you make. We can have as many conversations as we want, but if we don't get to the point where we're making offers, nothing happens, right? The engine doesn't run without gas, without fuel. And that is the fuel. The fuel for our business is making offers. Can't do that without the conversations, which leads me into, well, Brent, this is the question I get. And this is the question that should be in the front of your mind. How many conversations and offers do I have to make in order to get a deal? And I love that. I love that question. And the question is, I'm going to give you the attorney response. It depends, right? It depends. What is your strategy? I'm going to show you. There's 1, 2, I think there's 5 that I've got here. Yeah, 5. That 5 real avenues to go down to figure out how to go out and find these deals, how to get leads for lead generation. All right. There's 5 main buckets. And I highly suggest that you stay really focused on one, really build that up until you're getting consistent opportunities, consistent deals, and then add more to it. And it depends on what your budget is, and it depends on what your schedule is. All right. So let's break this down. Number 1 is outbound. This is where most people start. This is cold calling or door knocking. That's it, guys. Text message, gone. I'm telling you, you cannot build a big time, consistent, long lasting business with text message marketing. It's shut down. Not only, yes, the TCPA and all that is shutting it down from a government level, but also the carriers block it. So don't mess around with that. It's time to just release that into the ethers and forget about that strategy because it's just not going to work long term. And I want you to build up really strong pillars to your business. Okay. So cold calling and door knocking. So who do we cold call? Agents and non-DNC property owners. Now, a lot of people call people that are on the DNC, and it's kind of a self-police thing when it comes to the actual property owners. So you could take that risk. I'm going to always suggest that you don't, but that's up to you. But you can completely call agents, reach out to them. Obviously, if they have properties that are listed, obviously, if there is, if you just want to build relationships with them and start getting referrals and get. Start really building your list of like 30 people or 30 agents that consistently send you some opportunities. But cold calls, that's where I started out. Found ugly houses on the street, called them up. Would you consider an offer on your house? They only gave you 1 of 6 responses. Yes, no, maybe. How much will you give me? Who are you? And how'd you get my number? That's it. That is it, right? So cold calling the property owners and cold calling agents and obviously door knocking. I'm telling you, we've been talking about this for the last few months, guys. It's picking up, especially door knocking pre-foreclosures. Right before they're about to foreclose, door knocking is really, really great. And again, Rafael Cortez is going to be in here 10:45 right after Tom Kroll. Rafael's going to be in studio talking about best strategy. So stick around for that, right? Next is the dispo strategy. This is Jamil Damji. This is astro flipping. This is what this is. This is going out and you don't find the deals, but you match up the deals with the buyers. It's a phenomenal strategy. Now, do you get really, really big deals on a consistent basis? No, not as much as sourcing them yourself. Is there risk to building a business like this that the technology is going to make it easier for people to sell the deals themselves? Yes. So I think that it's a great opportunity to get started, to get your feet wet, to really build something that is that's going to get you paid quickly. But long term, I just don't know. I mean, we're going to talk to Spencer Caldwell, who does 3 to 10 deals, wholesale deals every single day, and this is all he does. So he's going to tell me I'm an idiot, and you guys get to decide if that's true because he's been doing this forever. But he built a huge buyer database. All right. Now let me show you how to do that on my computer. I'm going to jump into my computer. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this right here is with a tool right here, share, boom, called Investor Base. Okay. Now this is really, really awesome. It's $250 a month, guys. I don't know if Daniel got back to me in time, but I've got a link. Matt, you can run the link for Investor Base. It's just investorbase.com/TTP. And I think he might give you the first month free, but I'll verify that. I'm not sure. But that's our affiliate link if you want to use that. If you want to give us some love. But this right here, guys, is phenomenal. I just pulled up a random address. I used to own this property, and it pulls up all of these investor purchases over the last year in a 2-mile radius. And this is phenomenal because what you can do is this gives you the name and phone number of the companies and the people that are buying properties and what their strategy is. Right? Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here, just so that you guys can see it a little bit clearer. Hold on. What those look like. Hold on, it's going to update here in a bit. But the ones that are blue are the ones that are fix and flips, and the ones that are green. Geez, I'm screwing this whole thing up. The ones that are green are the buy and holds. So buy and hold buyers are going to pay more typically for the deals than the fix and flips because they typically need less work to them. I'm not sure why this is going so slow. It's probably my computer. This laptop's getting older, but you can kind of see the shadow of these green and blue. But you guys get it. Use it. It's phenomenal. But really what I want you to do is you go, there you go. Now it's pulling up. So you can see this fix and flip property here. You get all of their information, you get all the addresses, all of these things right here, and you could just go download. You get the download, and then you save it, and now all of a sudden, you've got it in your database. Now all of a sudden, you can reach out to them. Look at the information you get here. Look at the information. You get all of their phone numbers. I think they might even give the emails. Let me see. No, it just has, but this is the company LLC, but it also gives you the name here. And Elman buys 250 properties a year. We sell Elman probably 10 to 15 properties a year. He's a phenomenal investor here in town. He buys for his portfolio and for fix and flip and does a great job. Right there. If you didn't know Elman and you're starting brand new, it's right here. That took me like 2 seconds to pull this up. Absolutely phenomenal. And then you can download all of the different investors in the areas that you're finding deals. Or if you're doing the dispo strategy, right? You just go in and just scrape it. Just go and download all of them. That's the whole point. You could download all of them, start building up, call them up. Hey, what's the best way to reach you? Is it text message? Is it email? Do you want me to call you? What is your preferred way of communicating, right? And then all of a sudden, you've got an unbelievable buyer database. This is no longer a mystery. When I started in 2013, there was none of this was around. I had to go to meetups. I had to go and talk to the title companies. I had to go down to the foreclosure auctions to talk to the guys that bid down there. It was very manual. It was very like in the trenches, right? Now you could just do it. Boom, you get investor base, download it, do it, buy it for a month. You know what I mean? Like, download all of them. And then there you go. I would keep the monthly subscription because what I would do is if I found a deal and somebody needed help selling in a certain zip code, I would go in and pull all of the buyers in that zip code case by case basis and then start just calling them up and selling that deal. Phenomenal tool, guys. This is working really well in the Rhino Tribe. It's working really well with us whenever we get deals that are outside of Arizona. It's rare, but we do deals that way. Investor Lift. Investor Lift will show you the most likely people to buy those properties. It's phenomenal. It's more expensive. So Investor Lift, they're really looking for the more experience. So if you're just starting out, Investor Base is a must-have, and then upgrade into Investor Lift. It's a marketplace that's phenomenal. It does a great job. Next, meetups, and the key to the dispo strategy is make sure that you get on all of the other wholesalers' email lists, all of their blasts, right? Make sure that you're in on all of those. So the best way to do that is just post in investor Facebook groups and just say, hey, looking to buy some properties. I'm a cash buyer in town. Can you put me on your list? Boom. You're on that list, and then they'll start sending you deals. You start looking through it. You start talking to somebody like Elman. Elman goes, hey, listen, anything that you find in 85013 that is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet or smaller, under $250,000, I'll buy it. Now you start looking through all the lists. Oh my gosh, there's the deal. Hey, Elman, did you see this deal? Boom. Now you're selling it to him. There you go. Dispo strategy. So outbound. Now remember, choose your own adventure. Which one are you going to go? 5 adventures. Well, I'll say there's 4 adventures. The 5th one everybody should be doing, and that's referrals. And I'll get to that in just a second. Next, lead buying. Pay per lead. You can expect that each lead that you buy is going to be probably about $250, $300. 250, 300. I would assume that if you're in smaller markets, it's going to be less, right? I mean, you might be able to get some, but the deals are smaller and it's a lot tougher to sell those deals. But 250 to 300 for pay per lead. All right. Phenomenal strategy. But what I will tell you is this. I would tell you with pay per lead, you need at least 3 months of reserves. So, and it takes about 20 leads. 20 leads. Let's put that in there. That's going to be important. 20 leads per deal. Okay. What's 20 times 250? It's $5 per deal. You need 15 grand set aside before you start this strategy if your average cost is 250. The average cost is 300 is $6 grand per deal. But if you're making 20, if you talk to any smart business person and you say, if I give you $1 and you get back 3, is that a good business? They're like, all day long. I'll take that deal all day long. If you go, hey, if I give you $1 and get back $4, they will be like, I am buying a yacht. All right, because then you just blow it out and scale, right? So this might be a scary number up front, especially if you're getting started. Stay with outbound, stay with dispo, stay with referrals for now, but you're moving towards this. All right, this is the next step is paying for these leads. And we do, I like property leads for this. And we use, I think if you go to ttpleads.com, that's our affiliate, you get $250 towards your first leads. So I'll buy you your first lead. There you go. Anyway, TTP leads. Will you check on that, Hondra? You make sure that that's right, or Matt? I think it's TTP leads. Oh, there you go. Perfect. We already have it there. So that's our affiliate. You get $250. Do it if you want, or just go to propertyleads.com if you want. It's your prerogative. Marketing, pay-per-click, the king of all leads. Nothing's close. Nothing's even close to pay-per-click, but it is expensive and you have to have your processes in place. Direct mail, Facebook, TV, radio. Right? What? That's supposed to say billboards. I was doing a bunch of stuff this morning. And then bandit signs, right? These are typical in our industry, right? This is marketing. And this is you need 6 months saved up for any of these. I don't care what you're doing here. You need 6 months to really build momentum here. You need 6 months reserves before you even get into this bucket. All right. Now, if you have the 6 months, you're balling out, you're closing big deals, do your thing. But you need 6 months, because remember this, guys, 75% of your money comes in 6 months out of the year. This is crazy. This is too sloppy, but you guys get it from an audio standpoint. 75%. This is real estate. This was taught to me day one, 2004. I had stars in my eyes. I had spiky hair with like bleached tips. I'll show you a picture someday. Matt, you might have that picture. That'd be hilarious. Of Mike and I in our professional photos. Anyway, I sat down at this meeting and they say, listen, here's a fact about real estate. 75% of the money you make comes in 2 quarters. Comes in 2 quarters because there's seasonality in the market, and markets shift year by year by year. Some years it evens out. Some years it's pretty even, right? You have some boom and bust years, some boom years, it evens out. But on a typical years like we're going to experience for the next couple, I think, just because interest rates are where they're at, 75% in 6 months. So you got to keep your marketing consistent even if you're not bringing in income that month. That's the scary part about this business. Scary part about this business is I just made 60,000. I want to make 60,000 every single month. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Anybody that goes on podcast or YouTube or whatever and say, I make $100,000 every single month. I make $1 million every single month. They're lying. They're lying. They're bold-faced lying. That doesn't happen. It's kind of like this, you know, and you can even it out more if you stay consistent with your marketing and as you add different marketing channels to your business. Okay? Boom. How we doing, guys? Can I get some feedback in the chat? Are we feeling it? Is the enthusiasm at least an 8 today? We feeling the energy of this year? I hope so, because it's going to be a bananas year. There's no one left but you guys and me. There's nobody left but us. It's time to take some market share. Do you agree? If you agree, put something in the chat. I don't care what you do, but just use your thumbs if you're watching on your phone. Most people are. Put something in there. It's easy to participate. All right, and the last one is referrals. Guys, I will tell you this. This is the most underrated, highest ROI that you could possibly get in your business. And I will say this with all sincerity. 7 minutes per week is equal to 40 grand this year. $40,000. 40,000. Do you, Luke? Do you have your phone with you? Yeah. Can you pull up your calculator? What's 70? What's 7 times 52? What's 360 divided by 60, please? 6 hours. 6 hours. Six total hours. What's 40,000 divided by 6? $6,667 an hour that you will make. I am telling you, this is I can't guarantee it because maybe I can. I don't know. Everybody that's done it has won. Stephanie Hunt has been posting the last, I'd say 6 months or so, just closed a deal, $35,000. $35,000 from posting every single day to Facebook. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. But all you do is you go to your stories, you post to your stories, and I've been talking about this. Nobody wants to do it, but you're going to get paid. I have to literally put it right in front of your face that you will make $6,667 an hour if you take 1 minute a day, 1 minute a day to post to your story and say, I buy houses, DM me. I buy houses, text me. I buy houses, send me your deals, call me. Whatever it is. Guys, it's 2025. If you want a resolution, a New Year's resolution, right? A New Year's goal, a New Year's whatever, a New Year's habit that you want to really build in and make yourself more successful, you can do nothing else. This is the highest paid, the highest income producing activity that you can do is to post to your stories every single day that you buy houses. Well, Brent, I don't have that many people on Facebook. Beautiful. Do you know the beautiful thing about Facebook? You can request friends. You can just request friends. And so you go into Facebook. I'm going to show you. Let's go back to the computer here, Matt. Nick's messaging me. Nick, that's my new thing. You go in here and you go to the groups. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Let me share this. Still on Investor Base. Present. Share screen, Facebook, groups, share, boom, right here. You go in here and you go to groups and you go real estate, Arizona, or wherever you live, okay? Boom. And you go into these groups Arizona off-market properties, perfect. Arizona real estate investors, perfect. You go to people here, boom, and then you start adding friends, add friends, add friends, add friends, until they tell you, you can't add any more friends today. Great, and then you stop. And then the next day you add friends and you get your friend group up to 5,000 people that are somewhere in real estate. I like doing it in realtor groups. You go to the real estate agent groups in town and you just add friends and add friends. You get it to 5,000, post every single day. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. You don't have to be walking through anything. You can take a picture of this rhinoceros. You can take a picture of your hand, a watch, your feet, a plant, the wall, anything, and just say, you don't even have to put a picture of anything. You could just put, I buy houses, send me your deals. Boom, I buy houses cash, send me your deals. Every single day. Everyone that does this consistently gets deals. Stephanie got one deal for $35,000. I suspect that you will get 4 deals this year if you post every single day. And how much do you make per deal? Oh, Brent, I haven't done any deals. Great. Let's just say you make 10,000. That's 40,000. Let's say you're in a major market. Then you make, we can stop sharing this. You guys get it. I mean, you can post every single day and make, major markets, 15,000. Say it's 50,000. Now it's $60,000. That takes us even higher. What are we doing? What are we doing? Do it. 7 minutes a week. Watch what happens. Don't even get me started about starting your own groups. Starting your own community groups just because you love the area that you live in and start building that up. Boom. Then at the end of the day, you have to track. This is something Tom Kroll taught me. He's wearing his hoodie. He's ready to go. He's fired up. He's in the background. He's going to be popping up in a couple minutes. But data, not drama. Do you want to be a real professional? Do you want to have posture? Do you want to be, I don't know, just real about this business, like honest about this business? Data. It's black and white. It's just right there in front of you. There's no nuance to it. It's just, what is the data? How many conversations per deal? How many offers do I need to make per deal? And then you times that by 25, and you add 25 deals to your business this year. Data, guys, not drama. Drama doesn't play. This is for babies. This is for grown-ups, right? Data. How many conversations? If you just boil your business down to how many conversations and how many offers, and then times it by whatever your goal is, you win. Okay? Awesome. Now, I'm going to go into, before I get Tom on here, I have something that is, I read this to the Rhino Tribe yesterday, and it really resonated with me, and I think this dovetails perfectly into bringing Tom into the show today, because he is a huge advocate for pushing people to read every single day. 1, it increases your ability to communicate, your vocabulary. 2, it puts really great things. But remember, reading is the plunger. It's the plunger that plunges out all the bad stuff from our brain, plunges out all the stuff that we see on our feeds, all the stuff that's getting thrown at us, from the news and life and everything else and whatever. Maybe it plunges out our own environment, the people that are in our environment that we were born into. But listen to this. I think this is brilliant. This is from Earl Nightingale's Greatest Discovery. All right. And Earl, if you haven't watched The Strangest Secret, not watch, but listen to The Strangest Secret. It's free on YouTube. You can do it. I would listen to it every day this year. It's like 30 minutes as you're driving or whatever else. But listen to this. Someone once wrote, if you suffer without succeeding, it's so that somebody may succeed after you. If you succeed without suffering, it's because someone suffered for you. But there is no success without suffering. Now, beautiful Mr. Earl Nightingale says, I think the word suffering used in that context is meant to mean striving, making the grade to a new, higher level. In every family of affluence, someone somewhere had to climb from a lower level to a higher level. Even the British royal family had a poor striver somewhere in the past. Old money simply means that several generations have lived in the lap of luxury because some character back there had a good idea and worked his rear off and probably had a wonderful time doing it to move the family from the poor neighborhood to the rich neighborhood. All old money was once nuevo rich, despite claims to the contrary. Once a fortune has momentum, it's not all that difficult to build it into a great fortune. There are experts who do nothing else and who would be delighted to do the same for you and me. It's getting it started that takes the unusual person. The person who simply refuses, for whatever reason, to march in lockstep with the big gang going nowhere. The person who does something of unusual value. He was in World War II, so this is the reference. From the ship on which I was stationed in Hawaii, I used to watch the Navy PBY's flyboats take off from Pearl Harbor for their patrols. Sometimes the water would be so still, so smooth and slick, it would form a suction on the plane's hull. And even though the plane would have airspeed, the hull would stick to the surface of the water. Then the pilot would rock the plane back and forth, and finally, on a backward tilt, the hull would break loose as a metaphor for breaking loose from debilitating traditions. It's difficult to be the one person out of many generations to break the mold and fly free and clear of the past. Come on! I love it. What are we talking about here? Guys, with that, I'm going to bring on the incredible Tom Kroll.
Bam!
What do you think?
I love it. You know what I love? I love it because it's so we'll have this conversation, right? And it's like, oh, you were so disciplined. You had so much grit. You had so much willpower. Well, I don't think there's any such thing as motivation, right? Or a lack of it. It's just the one thing of one thing more than another. When I was in love with Julie, I was going to win over Julie. And there was suffering involved, right? I had to make sacrifice, I had to tone up that belly a little bit, but I didn't notice. These making that first phone call, right? It's awkward. It's suffering, right? In our minds, it's much bigger than it actually is in real life. But when you want it so bad, that it's either that or I'm going to die trying, you're going to get it. And it is going to be some suffering, but Tony Robbins teaches us that a decision is made in an instant, right? And I think that once you fall in love, you're just going to make it happen. And yeah, there's a little bit of suffering. And maybe I didn't go to culinary school and my name is Rachel Ray, but I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to be the first person to show up in that kitchen every single day. Even though I don't have a culinary degree, I'm going to be the last person to leave because I want it so bad. And I think that wanting is really what I think a lot of people misclassify as motivation, right? There's no such thing as a lack of motivation. You just want one thing more than you want another thing. And when you want it, there's some suffering, but you don't notice. You don't notice. It wasn't discipline for me. It was I really, really wanted. It was coming home and Julie was in the bathroom crying because she didn't know whether or not to pay the mortgage or to go grocery shopping. That's a true story. And then that day, I went right up to Panera Bread and I said, oh, you guys are real estate agents? I'm a cash buyer, wholesaler. And they're like, well, if you're a cash buyer, wholesaler, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know, but you have any deals?
Progress, not perfection, brother.
Bam! Oh, nothing will break you out of your shell like rock bottom. It's the strongest foundation. I love it. Oh, thank God for rock bottom.
That's right. Tom, I was listening to a podcast today and it was incredible. And it was on the Modern Wisdom podcast. And it was this cowboy guy, Dry Creek something. The guy's name's like Dry Creek something. And he was talking about, he takes people out and he teaches them about horses and it teaches them about life. And he's got a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of hustle guys, a lot of people that are just, they're doing really well, but they're just destroyed inside. And he said, and this is something that you speak to really well, and I wanted to get your perspective on it. He was saying that true success is liking yourself, liking the person that you are, right? And if you're trading financial success, monetary success for not liking the person that you become, you're not really successful. What do you think about that?
I think it's spot on. I think you got to start with what is success and what is wealth, right? So to me, and what I teach my clients, wealth is a comparison to others. Success is an internal comparison to your ideals, right? So wealthy people have more options, better options. Successful people have a good night's sleep, right? So you don't want to do anything for wealth by sacrificing success, a good night's sleep. You don't want to do anything for money, right, by sacrifice. And you and I both know guys who have won the game of money and they've lost everything else.
I'm going to actually write up here. Keep going, Tom. I'm going to write what you just said up here.
So this is where you and I know these individuals who they might have the new fancy car, but they've got no one to share it with. You know, that when something good happens to me, the first thing I think of is my wife, right? And I call up Julie and I say, sweetie, right? We got the big thing, right? We got because that's what it's all about. So my definition of success and your definition of success and everyone listening, I guarantee you that it's some variation of a good night's sleep, right? No one gets into business, right? We get into business because we don't want to be told what to do, right? We don't like authority, right? All that, right? Well, whatever the issue is that drove us into entrepreneurship and leaving that job. But we get into business because we want a good night's sleep. We want to put our head on the pillow and fall asleep peacefully, not riddled with anxiety and fear and stress, right? So the things that welcome those things in, the things that bring those things into our life, sometimes it can happen because of an exchange of doing the wrong thing and making some extra money. And when you Tony Robbins says, and Stephen Covey teaches us, right, there's no such thing as time management. There's only priority management, right? So all of these lessons from all of these men and women of consequence who came before us, the overall arching message is this: don't sacrifice success, a good night's sleep, for wealth, more and better options. You're right. You want to.
So wealth is a comparison to others, which gives you what'd you say? More options?
More options, better options. Wealthy people always, in every situation, the way you identify the wealthy individuals is they will have more options than other people, and they will have better options than other people. Yep. Right. And that's situational. It can change in an instant. It has to do with money, but it has to do with relationships and networks and transportation and mobility, right? Because it can move, and it can move quickly. Success is who's more successful on this call, or who knows, right? Who knows who's more successful, because it's all internal and it's not comparative, right? How close am I to my ideals is all I'm concerned with my success. And it's for you, it's the same, right? And I think that once you start to look at success and wealth as a yin and yang, it starts to give you a little bit more clarity, and you start to ask yourself, like, hey, maybe the results I'm getting that are really not desirable is because maybe I'm reprioritizing the wrong things. And it's a great adventure when you can simplify it, I'll say, instead of dumbing down. But when you can simplify it, it makes it a better adventure, at least for my simple brain.
Love it. The I like me part of success. Like, I like myself. I like the person that I am. And in that interview, he talked about, well, how do you do that if you don't like yourself? And he said, find somebody that you can, that you really like, and see what attributes they have, right? See what habits they have, see what they're doing. And he's saying, and it's not the Instagram, it's not the podcast, it's not the YouTube. You have to literally meet the person. You have to be around the person. You have to experience this person, because all the world's a stage. Everybody's trying to put their best, stuff forward and being like, this is what you need to do. And I feel like this affects a lot of young entrepreneurs. And when I mean young, I don't mean age-wise. People just becoming entrepreneurs and starting that journey. Find people that you can really get together with, that you're like, you know what, I really like that person. I like the life that they're living. And that's been some of the, when I hear, Tom, never meet your heroes, I think that's the grossest thing ever.
Right.
So because the heroes are assholes. The heroes are these horrible people. These heroes are putting on an act. That is so, and by the way, Tom, I've been backstage with all these heroes. It is, wow. But I remember this, Tom. I remember meeting you in Salt Lake. I remember going to your house. I remember being with your family. I remember all of those things. And you were my mentor. You were my hero. You were and since then, my whole life has exploded and gotten better. And I've certainly made tremendous mistakes, and I've certainly screwed up a tremendous amount of times, and I've certainly fallen into the pit of pleasure versus virtue and all these other things, and screwed things up. But I feel like, you know, being around people and striving to be better and really finding people that you like helps you like yourself better, and it gives you the perspective to have a good night's sleep. Because I'm telling you guys, I get it. When you don't have anything, I mean, Tom talked about rock bottom. I feel like rock bottom's like you have zero money in your account. I owed $800,000 in debt. Like, there was rock bottom, and then there's a trap door that Tom talks about that you fall through the rock bottom, and then you're just stuck there on spikes for a little bit, just kind of wiggling, trying to figure out your life, right? And you need people around you that are going to lift you up. And I just want to say, Tom, you're one of those that did that big time for me, and that's why I love having you on here. And guys, everything that Tom, this is Tom. If you go to Tom's house, he will talk to you, and then he'll ring a bell.
Bam. And you know, if you don't like what you're doing, we all have that little part in, and I'm not just talking ethics and morals. I'm talking not fulfilling your potential.
That's
you
it.
know who you are. If I'm talking to you right now, you hear what I'm saying. I'm talking about the potential for your kids and them and the way they see you, and what are you actually prioritizing. I mean, we know that there's a little bit of fear involved with filling out our greatness. Success is scary. The fear of success, I think, is more real and more present and more of a determining factor than the fear of failure. I've coached over 5,000 people. I don't know a lot of guys and girls who have fear of failure, but fear of success all day long. There is real, when you leave that farm, when you leave the flock, when you leave that school of fish, there's danger out there, right? But I'll tell you what, it makes for a better life. And when you know that who you are and your potential, and you start fulfilling your potential, and it's not about chasing the symptom of money. Money is just a symptom. Focus on creating the condition that produces the symptoms that you want. Then you'll like yourself, and other people will like you. And then you'll have, you get to that top of the financial mountain by yourself, you're going to jump off. And Brent and I both know those guys, and they're miserable, and they have everything, and they have absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, I get it. In the beginning, you're going to scratch and claw and do whatever you can to build the momentum and to work as hard as you can. And there is a hustle season.
Yes.
But tell them, Tom. Tell them about hustle season.
It's a season. It's not a lifestyle. You got to do what you got to do. You got to make it happen. Bam. You got to treat this like, God forbid, someone you love a lot and you care about got bit by a venomous snake, and the only way to get that antidote is to go get that deal, and you ain't getting up from that table until you do. And I've been there, and I get it. But then you move into a new season where you do fewer, bigger deals, or whatever you do, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a springboard. It allows you to get there. And I think that if you can, this whole idea of never stop hustling and this, no. No. That's not good. You don't want to age out of the game that way. So, it makes for a beautiful life. I mean, if you just prioritize this stuff, and you can do it. This is a decision. This is the decision. You just got to really understand who you got to be, the guy or the girl that your kids are looking up to. They know who you are. Just be that person, and just for a season, and prioritize it. And if you're confused about that, and you're confused about, well, what about work life? There's no such thing as work-life balance. It's a total myth. There's only harmony. There is no balance in life. There are seasons, just like there are in my garden outside. There are seasons when I plant, when I have a little sprout, and then when the apples, or in my case, the mangoes and the coconuts are growing. There's a season for these things, and it's entirely appropriate to focus on servicing the marketplace for a season when you are responsible to bring income in there. That is good and healthy. If you're confused about it, Daniel Lapin has a great book called Business Secrets from the Bible. It's one of the best books ever written, no matter what your religion is. He's not even a Christian, actually. He's a rabbi. And it's a wonderful book. But every single book they all teach us about these seasons of the one thing. Gary Keller teaches us the one thing. Scott Alexander teaches us charge at one thing. Viktor Frankl, Daniel Lapin, you name the guy, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, their season, the seasons.
Earl Nightingale.
Earl Nightingale. Bam. Read. Why read when you can listen? It makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's a different input. So, Tom, what are you reading right now? What do you suggest for everybody as we wrap up your segment here, brother?
Psychology of Winning. It's an awesome book. There you go. There's my BAM. I just wrote it in the at the end of chapter. I think it was 4, and about positive self-awareness. The Psychology of Winning is a classic. The old books are the good books, and it's not how many books you read, it's how many times you reread the same books.
That's right.
Bam! New stuff, throw it out.
Throw it out. Guys, coachinginc.com, check out Tom. If you have that passion to teach, to really share what you know, coachinginc.com, check it out. Get in Tom's world. It's absolutely the best investment that you'll ever make if you are a teacher and want to get out there and really help other people understand all the good stuff that you know. So go to coachinginc.com, check that out, and apply to join Tom's incredible community. I mean, it's the best of the best people. I mean, if you look at the highest level people that are really, really like a real community, like really pouring in and sharing and communicating and really putting that good night's sleep in the forefront as the seed, as the core of being an entrepreneur, that's the right group to join. Coachinginc.com. Tom, you're the best. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Tom. I hit my laptop. Hey,
enjoy the day. God bless. There goes Luna. She's out of here. She knows when the segment wraps up. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. God bless everybody.
Love it. Awesome. Matt, can you switch me over to this camera? And Alejandro, will you give me some questions here on the screen? And we'll start answering some. Oh, we only got one question so far. Okay, good. Here we go. John Doe, Brent, what's your take on quitting your W-2? Matt, can I move over here? I think that this thing sounds a little better. You want to angle this a little? There we go. What's your take on quitting your W-2 to go full-time? I've got enough money to last 5 months without working. I feel like I need to push myself and stop being complacent. Yeah. Listen, John Doe, this will work if you do, right? I mean, imagine having your whole schedule dedicated to reaching out to property owners or real estate agents, making offers and then matching them up with investors that are in your marketplace. And you can find all of those on Investor Base. We just showed it, guys. I mean, if you're looking at matching it up, I'm telling you, this is a absolute must-have in your business. Is this Investor Base? Let me hide this real quick. It's going to pull up all the investors that you need there. And so there's some benefit by going to investorbase.com/TTP. Do we have that, Matt? The scroller? Can we put that on there so that people can see that, just so that if they want to use that, they can get the benefit of it. But phenomenal. This is going to give you guys, this is, if I had this back in the day, I wouldn't have averaged 12,000 a deal. I would have averaged 25 like I do now, right? You can download all of them and rock and roll. And download all the investors and the contact information, call them up, see the best way that they want to be communicated with, call them, text them, best way to communicate with them. And this is what I do. Let's go full screen here. What I would do, this is the strategy that I would use. I would call them up and I would text them and I would say, hey, listen, I pulled up on my computer that you bought a property at whatever, 1212 Banana Street, right? I've got an off-market opportunity, or I've got an unbelievable deal in that area. Are you still buying there, right? If you're talking to them, right? If you're texting them, what I would do is, hey, Elman, I saw that you flipped a house over here. That was an unbelievable project that you did. I've got another deal in that area. Wanted to see if you wanted to take a look at it. Please let me know the best way to communicate with you. Done, right? Guys, don't be a robot. Don't be a robot with this. Just text them. Just text them. Now, if you want to get into, kind of scaling this, because I know there's going to be people with that brain. They're like, well, I don't want to do it individually. I want to do it all at once. I get it. I don't know if that's the best approach right now, but you could probably put it into a database. And what's the Go High Level is a good one to use that you can do this well with. And you can just, text a bunch of them at the same time in that area and see who responds. That might be a good way. But if you have nothing, you could just literally call and text them. But I would, I'd start doing that right away and start building relationships. And I'd find 100 people that will respond to you and just communicate with them all the time. And just be looking for opportunities to sell them deals. And if you're locking up your own deals, you should be doing this. You should be sending it to all the people. Even if you have a couple in those areas, send it to as many of those investors as possible. Because the bigger your cash buyer database, the more people that will recognize different potentials in that deal. Remember, wholesaling, we give the sellers the as-is condition price. That's the value. We determine the value. The value is determined by whom? The buyer. In everything, whether it's this computer, that rhinoceros, that bell, that light, a piece of property, a house, an apartment complex. If there's not a ready, willing, and able buyer, there's no transaction. The buyer determines the value. If the seller wants too much, nobody will buy it. Boom. Rafael Cortez is coming in. Awesome. So just remember that. Grab that microphone, and I'll scoot over here. Or you can flatten. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. That's it, guys. So the wholesaling, the buyer determines the value. We as is value, and then the us as the buyer for that deal. And then when we make the option that we want to assign that deal and want to wholesale that to another investor, that investor pays us based on how they recognize the potential. They pay us.
Yeah.
They pay us. Right. And so the more investors that you can put this deal in front of, the more you're going to make, because the more there's going to be people that recognize different potentials. One investor might want to own that as a rental. One investor might want to own it as a flip. Right. That's it. So, there's only 3 exit strategies. You can assign a deal, which is wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
You can hold a deal, which is adding to your portfolio, or you could flip a deal. That's it.
Yeah. You get to cherry pick when you're in front of the line too. What do you want to do depending on where you're at financially, right? But at the beginning, having a big, solid base of where to tap into.
Yep.
It's crucial.
I'm going to make sure we're going to have Spencer.
Investor base. We're doing really good with investor base.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yep.
It's absolutely incredible. How do you use it?
So I use it on both ends, right? So of course we use it to find
guys.
The
By the way, Rafael Cortez here.
Fam, what's up?
Pulse CEO.
Yes, sir.
Pulse,
CEO Pulse. Yeah.
CEO Pulse. Sorry.
We use it on the back end, right, to find the buyers, which is kind of like the standard use of it. They're adding a lot of things to it. I was playing it with it this morning. Now you can build your own buyers.
You introduced me to it.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah, those guys are they're great. They're doing upgrades or updates to the platform every week, and it's pretty solid. So we use it on the back end to find the buyers. And build out the buyers list. And on the front end, when we're running comps, my acquisitions team looks at investor base too. So for example, we have properties that are kind of outskirts or in the off areas or whatever. Like before they lock it up, they work the numbers, of course, and the comps and everything, but they'll lock it up and see what buyers are buying for in those areas. So we use that on the front end to negotiate the deals. Right. And
is it showing the price they buy?
Yeah. Awesome. So it'll show you how much they're paying for them, fix and flip investors, and then also buy and hold investors in there. So you need buy and hold buyers because you have a real nice turnkey type of property.
Yeah,
like you can hit them there and see what they actually paid for the property cash. And another thing that I like is that you can't opt into it. So you can't say I'm a buyer and then sign up to investor base.
Yeah, they
actually go off of records and actual solds.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love it.
Awesome. I want to talk. We've got 6 minutes before Spencer Caldwell is popping in.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Spencer Caldwell. We got Dean Rogers. right?
My guy. Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal show. Spencer's going to be so distracted because he's literally bidding at auction or working with his guys that are bidding at auction. So it could just be us watching him bid at foreclosure auctions, or you'll hear his cell phone ding,
Gling, gling,
probably 100 times in 15 minutes, maybe more.
I think last time it was around 150 times.
It's incredible.
He was just,
and we'll break down his business model. If you're unfamiliar with him, he's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Stick around, guys. It's in 6 minutes. You do not want to miss this. And if you're watching the replay of this, definitely watch that. But we're talking door knocking.
yeah.
I'll tell you, I had my support call. I do my Tuesday support call in the Rhino Tribe. People are getting deals knocking pre-foreclosures, door knocking pre-foreclosures.
Yeah.
Door knocking, doing some leave behinds, just initiating that. There's no cost, right? You can scale it if you know how to, find people and manage it.
Yeah,
and we actually talked about you on Hotline. Can you come in Hotline next week?
Done.
On Monday at 5, you can come in, because we really wanted to break down, how do you recruit people to do the door knocking for you at some point, right? But would you suggest doing it yourself and then hiring people if you haven't really done any deals yet?
Yeah, like anything else. I mean, if you're tapping into a new strategy, I feel like we have to know enough to be dangerous in it. Not that you want to do it for years and years, right? But you want to understand what you're doing in that sense. So yeah, definitely. And then it's just one of the fastest ways to build thick skin, man.
Yeah.
If you talk to somebody who's door knocked, for 6 months, I mean, that person looks like, they're 80 because of all the, I feel like the rejection, tenacity, and all that stuff that it takes. But you also get the biggest deals.
Yep.
And it's a really fast way to gain a lot of experience real quick, right? You're belly to belly. So it's a very different energy behind it than cold calling. I mean, we cold call as well, but it's just a different approach as well, for example.
Awesome.
And then you can literally pull records from the county and start hitting them if you know how to.
What does that mean?
Filter them out.
What does it mean? You could pull records from the county.
So
where do we do that? How do we do that?
You're gonna have to find the data, right? You're gonna have to find the data somewhere. So I mean, for example, we have Map Driven, which is one of the platforms that we built.
Is that available?
It is in some areas. So data is very specific. So we don't have it in everywhere, right? So Arizona, we have certain areas in Cali, we have Florida, Indianapolis. So we have a couple of states that we're working with, but this is something that we built to for our own
mapdriven.com.
Yeah, for our own purpose, and so we're starting to put it out there. It's not out there, on a massive scale yet. So anyways, you have to pull data from somewhere. You got to have data from somewhere. The faster the data is, the better you're going to do when you door knock. You can also pull, records from, for example, Badge or PropStream. Those records are usually delayed by 9 to 12 days or 7 to 12 days. I think it's depending on where you're at. So there's a delay in those, right? But the faster you get to it, like if you go straight up to the county records and pull pre-foreclosures and you're able to filter them out, which takes a little bit of work, I mean, and know-how.
Yep.
But you can start creating, your routes. You can start creating I'm going to hit this house. I'm going to hit this house. I know this house is equity. This house looks like a hot one because it's got a couple of, issues that are stacked on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And I got to hit that one definitely tomorrow, so you start to play around with that. And then, I mean, you just go to town on it. But it's one of the fastest ways, right, to get to that front door, to get to that seller conversation. And at the end of the day, to provide a solution that's going to get you paid.
Love it.
I mean, we have, I don't know, I think right now we have, I don't know, on our whiteboard, if I recall, we're doing an ops call this morning, but I think we have about around 14 or 16 deals that we're pushing, right? We're marketing. We're closing on 2 of them this week. But I think 6 or 7 of them come from this strategy. So it's not
Are they good sized deals?
Yeah, they're you're talking 30K plus, on those.
Average?
Yeah.
30K plus.
Yeah.
30K. Let's just call it 30K.
Yeah, call it 30K.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they are, they're there, and then sometimes we go 70, we go 80, and sometimes we go 5. So depending on the strategy, there's a lot. They're hairier deals, so they're a little sometimes to work them.
What do you mean?
Meaning sometimes you have to go through, for example, figure out how to get payoffs from these people are in
how
hardship.
About postponements?
Yeah, postponements.
That's a big one.
If
they come to you 2 days before,
yeah,
this just happened. This just happened to Roberto. Roberto was on our call last night. He's like, I'm trying to get a hold of the attorneys. So what's the best way real quick to do that? And I might cut you off if Spencer pops in here. If he can find the link. He literally, you know what he says to us? He goes, will you please make sure, and Matt, you might want to just send him the link right now. He literally is like, please send it to me 5 minutes before the show, but before I'm supposed to be on. No, because he gets like 5,000 emails a day.
It's gonna be a mile down in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Crazy thing is my team is always on the phone and on the messages with him. He's looking at our deals, buying our deals and everything, talking to Spencer. But Spencer's been buying my deals since 2013, bro. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So how do you get them postponed?
So you have to get it under contract. Then you have to have an actual conversation with the lender, right? Ideally,
lender. Whoever's handling
foreclosure. Yeah, the foreclosure. So and then they'll say yay or nay. They usually give you a 30-day postponement if you have something in writing and you're able to get that into place. Mm-hmm. But we have to coach like the sellers on how to do that, kind of walk them through the process. And you become part of that transaction. So a lot of times, right, we have conversations that are okay. We make an offer, and then the offer didn't you walk away. Here, you have a bigger opportunity to provide value, so the deals tend to be bigger. Yeah, there's a stigma, man. People think no, foreclosure is dead. Nobody's doing deals in foreclosure. It's a competitor. Yeah, but you're not going.
If you try to cold call them.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody.
They're not going to answer they're not going to answer those calls.
So yeah, exactly. So what we do is we get into it through the front door, literally, and then we just continue the conversations with the rest of the team via calls.
So let's just say I go to the door, I knock on the door, they're having a conversation with me. Am I trying to get into the house? Am I just trying to find out what's going on? Am I just trying to set a later date to have a conversation?
At first you will. So if you can, think of it as a one close appointment if you can, right? If it's you door knocking your own leads, your own, when you plug in door knockers, so when you start building a team, all they do is set the appointment for our closers. Mm-hmm. So they're closing, quote unquote closing, but they're closing the appointment. Yeah. Any question, any rebuttal, anything that pops up, right, from the seller at that point or the homeowner, to the door knocker, it's an opportunity to just scale it up to a closer. It's going to have that deeper conversation. Yeah. So it depends on where you're at. If it's you closing the deals, you want to get the signatures. You have contracts ready in your car. You absolutely want to do that. And do
you hold a clipboard? Huh? Do you hold a clipboard? Do you just go hands wide open? Do you wear a polo? Do you wear a t-shirt?
Good question.
You know what I mean? Like.
I've seen it. I've seen it all. In my opinion, the better you look, the more shots you have. Sure. For example, if I show up to a foreclosure with my hat backwards like I'm right now, and it's not, I'm not gonna look that professional. You know what I mean? So in my sense, I do believe that first impressions matter. Yeah. So look decent, right? Like wear a polo, jeans. You don't have to be all decked out with a suit and tie, but have some consideration, right? These people they're gonna size you up based on how you look. And we'll have contracts in the car, not necessarily that you get off with a clipboard at hand, but we start that conversation and then tee it off. One thing that works very, very well, and that you definitely want to do if you're door knocking, right? You want to find an excuse to get their phone number, their actual phone number at the door. Yeah. Right. So, for example, we have some assets like a PDF that tells you 10 different ways to stop foreclosure. And right in the middle of that PDF it's us, right? Okay, you sell it to me and we'll stop the foreclosure, right? Outside of that, you can give them, and this is stuff that it's common knowledge. You're not doing any consulting or any, you're not an advocate or anything like that, right? You're just giving them resources.
Because there's a lot.
But we text them.
Right.
Well, give me your phone number and I'll text you that. And now we have the contact number for that person and pick it up on a first name basis.
Right. Let me just call Spencer. I've been, yeah, I know.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, bud.
How you doing?
Good. I sent you are you bidding at foreclosure?
Yeah, I am, and your thing starts right now, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Let's go live here for a little bit. I just got the link. Sorry for the delay.
I
don't know if I've got 20 or 25, but I'm going to give you as much as I can here.
I need 10.
10.
8, 7. Doesn't matter. Come on in.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm logging in right now. I appreciate that reminder.
Don't let us screw up your bids.
I see it right there. Let me shut my door real quick.
There you go. There he is.
You ever
Awesome.
wonder what a top producer?
Oh man, sorry guys.
That's
Okay.
good. So what are
What's
you
up,
doing
man?
right now? You're actively bidding?
Yeah, we're actually bidding. We're in 3 different counties in Arizona. There's 2 in Maricopa County, 2 in Cochise County, and 1 in Navajo County. So actually was on 5 different lines bidding, and I had a commitment to be on here at 11 with you. So I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, but I want you to work, do your thing. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
doing this, Rafael and I can just chat it up if you're doing things. So when you're getting a text message, what is happening? Keep those on. I want to don't turn that to silent. Keep that thing ringing.
Man, I actually need to, when I'm getting a text message, I mean, the last text message is just availability. So on a property, if someone's looking for availability, someone just is looking for pictures. Someone just asked if I'm bidding in Bisbee, Arizona. So
awesome. Well, do that. You stay focused for a second. I'm going to explain to everybody your business. So Spencer really started building momentum back in the day, bidding at the trustee auctions, which is the foreclosure auctions, which dovetails perfectly. And I've used that twice today, dovetail. I think it's nice. I've been reading a lot.
I like it.
Anyway, Rafael stops the foreclosures, which screws up Spencer's business. But the people go, they pay Spencer a fee to bid at auction for them to buy properties at the foreclosure auctions. He goes down there because it's very confusing. There's a lot of data. It's almost like you have to read hieroglyphics to understand what properties you're bidding on down there. So that takes a tremendous amount of expertise. So he built up this big buyer database doing that. And then those started slowly filtering out. The foreclosures stopped happening in the abundance that it was. And so he just started putting out on Twitter. You can follow Spencer Caldwell on Twitter if you're in Arizona for deals, and also a twice a day email with everybody else's deals. Spencer calls you up and goes, "Hey, listen, will you give me permission to put this on my list and send this out to my buyers?" We say yes. He puts it on the Excel list and sells how many deals on average right now, Spencer? A day.
I always just say 3 a day keeps the doctor away.
That's right. What's a good day and what's like the best day?
I mean, 0 is yesterday we bought 4 properties at auction. Here's all the bid receipts that I've got to gather. Let's see here, over $2 million worth of auction properties to get paid for.
Are the auctions happening more? Are you seeing more people in foreclosure, like actually going to the auction?
No, it's been Groundhog Day there for the last several years. I mean, it's right. It's been the same. I mean, it was super exciting in 2012 when we were buying 15 to 20 a day for 2 years, cleaning up the foreclosure mess. But for now, it's just pretty consistent.
Right. And so now, from a wholesale side, outside of the auctions, what was your best day in 2024? How many did you sell?
Oh, in one day on wholesale?
Yep.
Oh, I think Connor probably yelled in that we sold as many as 8 or 9, maybe 10 in one day.
In one day. Awesome. Yeah.
And I think in Arizona, correct me if I'm wrong, I've asked a few professionals. I think there's probably 600 to 700 distressed wholesale auction deals that sell per month in Arizona. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, that sounds right. I mean, listen, we got 2 million properties here in Maricopa County, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if you look at it as a fraction, it's very, 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 very low. I mean, these are people that literally put their head in the sand. Maybe they did a loan modification, didn't work. Maybe they did a second loan modification, didn't work, and then just gave it back. Or oftentimes what I've seen, Spencer, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's somebody is deceased. Right. And nobody's really like taking care of it with the family, and it goes to foreclosure auction, and that's when it goes all the way through. But at the foreclosure auction, how many times does it go back to the Benny, as they call it?
Yeah,
which is the bank, the beneficiary.
I would say, I mean, let's just look for today. For example, today is Wednesday. We had 33 properties on our list. Out of the 33, we had 10 with opening bids out of the 33. And out of those 10 opening bids, the houses that are actually going to end up selling today is going to be maybe 2 out of those 10.
Yep.
And probably 2 or 3 go back to the bank because the opening bid's too high.
Yep.
That's a simple ratio for today.
20%.
Yeah,
Awesome.
20%.
Awesome. And so building up your cash buyer database, how important is it to effectively communicate with your investors?
I think communication is key, man. You got to stay relevant and communicate with them on the spot all the time, instantly, as quick as you can. It's so important.
Do you think that you're so good at it because you have ADHD, or is it just because you've just built yourself up to this?
Both for sure. I was at lunch with a friend the other day, and
It's a secret power.
Yeah, back in the day, he would cover me when I'd go to Lake Powell. Now I take my phone when I go to Lake Powell, thankfully for Starlink. But I go to Lake Powell, for a week or two during the year. And he's like, I thought your phone just was magical and just continued to ding like constantly because that's just what your phone does. He's like, I didn't really realize, Spencer, how much you're actually creating that, as opposed to, he's like, your phone's not as busy when you're not gone. You are creating that. So
yeah,
so that was a compliment. I felt, for sure. Another funny story. I had another friend call me all serious, and he's like, hey, I'm close to my office. I'm close to your office. Can I come see you? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Come in. He sits down and he's like kind of somber, and he's like, hey, dude, I need to know like what dosage your medication is and what you're on. And I'm like,
it's not a off the,
you're like,
it's not a bad question.
No, that's great. The medication is text messages, and I'm on about 90 text messages every hour or whatever.
Every 30 seconds.
This is the and I said, hey, dude, I'm not on any medication. Here's the medication, guys, right here. Listen to this. All right, Chandler. Early morning starts, buddy. This was this morning. You see any cars in the parking lot at my office?
No.
Just thinking about you.
There's no, and I sent it to one of my guys who last night, he's like, hey, how do I get more busy? How do I do this and that? And I sent that video this morning. I'm like, I should not be the first one here. There's no cars in the parking lot, So anyways, it's just
what time did you get to your office?
School days are hard because I do wake up and cook breakfast for the kids and get them out to school, every single morning. So summer times, I'm 7:30, right? Yeah. But I am out the door at around my personal time is 5 to 7. I'm on the road riding a bike or running like from 5 to 7. So as soon as I can get home and showered and get there, right? So, and if I wasn't on the road, and that's my mental medicine, quite honestly, it's just my time. My only, I break up the day in between two parts, right? We're either being proactive or reactive. Yep. And I am reactive from 8 o'clock in the morning when the texts start coming in till 10 o'clock at night. I am reactive. And so the only time I can be proactive, leave my phone at home, is from 5 to 7 in the morning. Everyone's still asleep.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, your capacity is huge, and I love it. And let me ask you this, and then we'll let you get back to, the tornado that you live inside of. If somebody wants to do a disposition strategy, they want to sell other people's deals and do that effectively, how do you communicate to the people that are sourcing the deals that they can trust you to send it out to your list?
Great. So if you have a deal, so your question you're asking is, if you have a deal, how can they trust me? Or why?
Yeah, like if somebody's starting out, Spencer, and they don't have this great reputation, they haven't been around, they haven't done upwards to, 20,000 deals, 10,000 deals. How many deals?
I think right in between that number right there.
Right. 15,000 deals like you have. If they're starting that, and they're like, you know what? I don't have a big budget. I want to work with the investors. I don't want to go into people's houses. I want to do this virtually. I want to work in an office. I just want to be, the middleman between these really good deals and the buyers. How do you talk to the people finding the really good deals? What do you say to them that says, hey, listen, can I get permission to send this to my list?
Yes. How would I first, I would just say, listen, like, communication is 100% the most important thing, is just communicate with people like as quick as you can, hopefully instantaneously. Do not leave people hanging. Communication kills all deals. More than time kills all deals. So just communicate. Bad news is better than no news, right?
Right.
So I would just say, like, communication to me is absolutely the key. And I had a friend this morning also ask me, like, hey, what CRM do you use to like keep up with it all? I'm like, dude,
Excel.
Excel, like live Google Sheets with my team. Like, let's dumb down our processes. Everyone thinks they just want to automate things, and through automation, you can lose your business. So I'm like Mr. Anti-automation guy.
I agree.
It's just, we're grinding, and we're going to continue to grind. Had another friend in here yesterday, and he sends me all his deals to sell, and all he does with his team is they're on the phone dialing all day, every day, including him, the boss. And so it's just grinding and getting away from the automation and from all these things that you think you're just going to magically sell houses because of automation and VAs and this and that. Like, I have a live Google spreadsheet and I have MailChimp.
Yep.
That's it.
Same with us. The only people that make money in automation are the people that create the automations.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they sell the picks and shovels, and that's how they make their money.
Right.
They're not mining the gold. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people fall into that quicksand for sure, because they go, well, I'm either above this, or somebody's, told them that they're above, having to do this every single day. Everybody that I know that is working this business on a high level for a long period of time, which is the most important, because there's being in this business for a long period of time is the filter for who you should be listening to. Not the people that just got into it in the last couple of years or last 12 months or whatever else. Those are the people that you should be listening to. They all are in the business. They're all working it all the time. It's awesome. Yep.
No, that's cool. I like that. Good. Awesome value, guys.
I got a question for you. Where's for example, I mean, you're bidding right now at auction, right? But you can bid at the steps. You can do it in a couple of different places. Where's the best place that you go to, for example, to find your auction bidding deals?
Yeah, great. So there's 12 major trustees in Arizona. And so ultimately there can be 12 locations. And so the steps, when you say that, is that's the stereotype of the auctions are at the steps. And I would say a majority are on the steps at 201 West Jefferson. But the good deals aren't at the steps. No one showed up to a property in Mesa 2 months ago. And we're the ones that showed up to a random attorney's office, and no one else knew about the deal and got a slamming deal. So, I mean, but there's good deals at the steps. I saw several. So
you have to show up in person to bid?
Yeah. You know what? There's only one trustee that lets you automate that system, and they're hard to deal with, and you got to send in a lot of money to do that. So this is an in-person, archaic system that I don't know if will ever change. So
why is there a big tent of auction.com?
So auction.com is that one person that you can potentially bid online if you meet certain criteria.
And they're nationwide, right?
Yeah, and they're one trustee of 12 major trustees in Arizona. So on auction.com days, you will have more third-party people show up, because they advertise and they do a better job, auction.com, of just getting the properties out there. But that's not necessarily the best place to buy is auction.com, because they're advertising the most. It's the onesie twosie divorce attorney that picked up a house and he's like, oh, I can auction it off at my office. I know how to do that. And no one knows about it. No one shows up. That's the buy.
Wow. Awesome.
Isn't that incredible? I mean, that's incredible. A huge gold nugget right there.
Awesome, guys. Give some love for Spencer. Spencer,
brother,
how can people, if they're in Arizona, buy deals from you or send you deals?
Cell phone 480-283-4425, or just Google my name, Spencer Caldwell. Love to work with you guys. Love to hear from you. I hope I do. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, Spencer. Best of luck.
Always great to see you,
sell
man.
some deals. Buy some deals. See you, bud.
Talk soon.
Dude's gangster when he says Google me.
Google me. Well, I mean, when you start calling a buyer's list, Spencer's list, that's how everybody in the valley refers to it.
Somebody's gangster when he gives you the phone number and then also says Google me.
Yeah.
Nobody does the combo. That's a sick combo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's definitely a different. He's a robot, man.
He is incredible.
I was talking to my my dispo manager, and it's like, yeah, we're talking to Spencer, but I don't think it's Spencer. It's got to be one of his guys. Like,
no, it's Spencer.
And it's like, did he say it was Spencer? Like, yeah, it's Spencer. Like, it's him doing the
awesome
thing.
Hey, so we got some questions here we're going to get into. We got 97 people, 96 now. Sorry, somebody left. But guys, if you guys are getting value out of this and you're not subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I would love 2025 to get over 100,000, because if I get that plaque, Bo will be like, oh, it's the baby plaque. He's like, you don't have a million people on
my
YouTube.
Dad is almost cool.
Yeah. Anyway. Here we go. Chris said, I did that today. Left my 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. job. Been great since. Got 2 deals closing in my first 2 months. More to come. Come on.
Bam. Let's go, Chris.
Awesome. Congratulations, Chris. Ralph, great to see you. Happy New Year. Such a great supporter and awesome guy. So best time to reach out to a buyer is when you have an off-market deal. When is the best time to reach out to a buyer? When you have an off-market deal?
If you're direct to seller, I mean, I think that's when you have, the best shot at it, right?
No, I think he means like specifically what days and times will investors actually respond to you.
Oh, I mean, we push them out as soon as we get them.
Yeah, but don't push them out on Fridays. Don't push them out on the weekend.
Yeah, so
Monday through Thursday, and if it's up to Jeremy will only dispo Monday through Wednesday.
Really?
There's a significant drop off Thursday. Friday is abysmal. So the weekend's bananas. So these investors are all over the place. Now you obviously have a different.
we have a 1 hour deadline. So we get a deal through the pipeline. It gets underwritten by Dispo. That needs to happen within an hour, and then the next step is
it's going out.
Yeah, push it out for marketing, and then the marketing team just.
So, do you remember that presentation when we were doing the Go Giver Mastermind that Jamil did on the times and the schedules? It was really interesting. He said that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 a.m. Was a great time to send it out. 8 a.m., 1 in the afternoon. I think it was like 2 o'clock. I think, when does Spencer put his out? He puts it out at like 9 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Yeah, morning and midday.
Yeah, so he does that in both times. But great question. When you're selling your deals, I highly suggest that you don't wait until the last second, like on a Friday, to send this deal out. I'm telling you, they're at happy hour. They're at kids events. They're running around. They're driving to their vacation homes. All those things. So just don't do it. All right. Jared, Brent, I just closed my first deal a month ago where I made $25K. I'm now working on my second deal, and I'm having a lot of anxiety of somebody backdooring my deal with the seller. How do you avoid this? First of all, Jared,
congratulations.
There we go. Yeah, well, listen, if you have anxiety, you need to educate the seller. You have to educate the seller. We were having some problems with this back in the heyday in 2021. Because people were just doing anything they could to just try to get the sellers to work with them and get those deals. So you need to, one, tell the seller that once they sign this, they can't sell it to anybody else. They can't back out.
It's a legally binding agreement.
Right. And two, if anybody approaches them, just tell them to reach out to you. Tell them that you've already sold the property and that you should be communicating with me, and just tell them to just send them to me. Right. So have that conversation with them, future pace that, assume that that's going to happen. And you're doing that right after they sign the contract, the agreement. All right.
Well, I mean, Spencer said it right now. Communication is everything on the dispo side.
Yeah. If you disappear from your sellers,
that's important on the acquisition side.
They're going to be seduced by everybody.
They can't be wondering where the deal's at.
Build a relationship.
Yeah.
If you build a relationship with the sellers, you shouldn't have a problem.
Do you file memorandums on your deals?
Not often.
The ones that you don't take
not
down?
often. Some. So we will, if we do this now pitch, and it's even in our TV ad. We'll give you up to $10,000 before we close, right? For moving expenses, for down payments, for rentals, for just help paying electric bills and paying some of these other things. Some people have medical stuff that they need to pay real quick or whatever else. Yeah. They need to go to urgent care or something. So we'll help them out with some of that, and then we'll put a memorandum on there just to protect us. But usually not. Only when we feel like, only when we feel like the sell. No, that's really it. Only when we give them money is really what it is. Yeah. You?
I mean, depending on the deal and the risk into it. I mean, if we're not taking it down, which we will if it's heavy enough, right? If it's a fat deal.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll file a memorandum, and my attorney also had a specific performance clause rolled into the contract.
Yeah.
So I mean, that helps mitigate, right?
Oh,
some of that anxiety that we can get, like, oh, they're gonna undercut us. Like now there's more skin in the game for the seller as well. So.
Patrick
Something like that
asks,
should
how do
happen.
I find notice of default in county records? One, you can Google it, Patrick. You can just Google county records, right? Google notice of default in the county records.
Every
and
county is
see,
different. Yeah.
see if they have it online. Also, I mean, there's a ton of different resources. You can go with batch leads. You can go with what is it? Foreclosure radar.
Foreclosure
Or
radar
is
is
it
there?
property radar.
proper-
Property radar
yeah,
does a
property
really good
radar.
job. Both of those are good. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. But I like getting it direct from the county.
It's the fastest way. So remember, everything that's automated, everything that's out there on the platform, more than likely, unless they're doing some type of AI, code on the back end, like for example, like we are, or have manual inputs of the records that are happening, they're going to be delayed. So you're always going to be at least about a week behind for the most part on those records. When you can get to it in front of the line, like you have 7 days. This is how we see it. Something comes up.
That's why you guys are only in certain markets with map driven, right?
Something comes up and
oh shit, Deal Machine.
if we if we can get it, we can get a 7-day window where we have 7 days to build a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get that if you go to the county. You just got to do it manually.
Awesome. Hey, Brent, if I only have 1 day to cold call, would you recommend it? Yes. Cold call baller. Absolutely. More conversations, more offers. That's what the whole business comes down to. So if I only had 1 day, it depends on what day that you have. But if it was like, I only have 1 day and it's Saturday, that's the best day.
Yeah.
You're gonna crush it on Saturday. You're gonna do I used to do super Saturdays where I would just call it, bring in people to watch, and then they'd all kind of round robin and get in there and make calls. It was really great. Look at Dimitri. Dimitri in the house closed 102 deals last year with a spreadsheet and massive mental strength.
Boom.
Yeah.
Dimitri's a beast. That's
Oh my
awesome.
Goodness. We are doing it now.
Where's Dimitri based?
He's in Belgium.
Exactly.
Yeah, he does business in Florida. He lives in Belgium. This is all virtual. By the way, he does it all in the middle of the night. I don't even know how you're up right now, Dimitri. It's got it because he sleeps. His schedule's crazy. Yeah. What'd you say? Demon mode? Yeah. Is that what it's called? When you have the night shift?
If Dimitri can do it from over there, you can do it too.
That's right. Teresa, hey, Brent.
Good
I want to get my
inspiration, man.
real
Love it.
estate license to have as a tool, as you mentioned. How would I approach a brokerage team and explain this to them? I only have time for wholesaling, not selling homes. Teresa, great question. Go into those real estate wholesaling and investing groups in Facebook and ask this question. Who is the best wholesale friendly broker? Who is the best wholesale friendly broker? That's how you go and find the right brokerage for you to work with. All right.
Yeah.
And just get referrals for that. That's a real easy one.
I had a conversation with the Department of Real Estate because of the brokerage. And I just wanted to make sure that me as a broker, I was all covered, right? And they said, listen, as long as you disclose, it's doable. Like, make sure that you're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So they have some specific things that they'll require if you're licensed. Disclosure is really one of the biggest ones. But most brokers don't understand wholesaling.
No.
They traditional real estate all day long.
Yeah.
Right. But when you start introducing different things, like what we do, we think it's a big world, but it's really not.
No.
When you look at the grand scheme of things, not a lot of people are doing what we're doing.
Not a lot of title companies know it.
Exactly. Isn't it crazy? You talk to real estate, to an escrow officer and like, what do you mean? What do you mean an assignment?
Yep.
It's like, that's insane. So that still happens. Believe it. Not because there's a title of broker in front of that name or after that name. It means that they know what wholesaling is. So do your due diligence in that sense and have conversations with them. It's allowed by most boards. You just gotta find the right brokerage to do it with, and the best way to do it is through groups, connections, REI meetups, that sort of thing.
Next up, guys, we've got an incredible guest on the live show here. He was voted handsomest wholesaling investor in California for 2024. We'll see if he can reign as champ in 2025. He sneezes and his wife gets pregnant. She's about to have her 5th baby. It's none other than your friend, our friend, Dean Rogers. Dean, how are you, brother?
Wow, what an intro.
Come on.
The Captain
Two of my
America
favorite people right here.
Real estate.
That's right.
What's up, homie?
What's up?
So
What's up?
I know you're short on time because baby could come at any moment. So thank you
Yeah.
for jumping in here.
Strong breeze could knock the baby up.
I have a great question here just to get you going. Carson Walsh asks, how is 2025 going? Are you guys seeing good numbers and heavy buyer activity? I think 2025 is going to be killer. Dean Rogers, what do you think?
I think 2025 is going to be amazing. I think the sentiment, the feeling of people is that America is back. It's on the rise, and opportunity is going to be available everywhere. So I think that 2025 is going to be an amazing year. We're planning for big things, and I'm seeing buyers very hungry. Any deals that I have, buyers are jumping on them. Buyers are paying top dollar, and they're excited for any opportunity they can get their hands on.
How did 2024 end for you, Dean? Good year?
Ended good.
Even year, up year, down year? What was it?
Another great year. Did about the same amount we did in 2023, but we did some things better that I'm really proud about, and very excited taking that momentum into 2025. So yeah, we had a good year.
So when you say better, talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I think the theme for us in 2025 is focus. Okay.
There you go.
And there's opportunities everywhere. And I think as an entrepreneur, our biggest challenge is to stay focused. And we know that as coaches, we use focus a lot to talk about finish one course until successful, right? A lot of new people in the business want to try this and they want to try that. And that's where they get stuck. They don't keep the momentum and build the consistency to really get those breakthroughs and hit those milestones. So for us, it's no different, right? We have continued to have success and continue to have growth. But for us, it's to just get laser focused on what we do best and to only have a few objectives, right? And what I'm most excited about as I'm listening to Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time is I'm taking just the top priority things, a very short list, and every day my calendar is going to be focused on just those goals and objectives and nothing else. If it's not on that list, it's not something I'm going to focus on.
How do you focus if you're just getting started, Dean?
Because
I know you coach a lot of people getting started. You do an incredible. I don't know anybody that does a better meetup in California than you do. Certainly in your area. And if you could talk about that a little bit, plug that a little bit so that people can tap into your community there. But how do people focus when they're getting started, when we don't know what we don't know?
Yeah. I think all three of us would probably say the same thing. There's really only two major skills you need to have when getting started. And we're all focused on, residential, single family homes. We love wholesaling. We like to do some flips here and there. Some of us like rentals, some of us don't.
Sure.
But when it comes to real estate investing, we need to be focused on finding deals and negotiating deals. We don't need to be focused on all the other shiny objects, the different types of real estate investing with commercial and multifamily and storage. We just need to be focused on finding deals and learning how to talk to those people, right? You might know a thing about that, Brent.
Oh, TTP?
Yes, TTP. We just need to know how to talk to those people and how to find them. That is the only skills you need at the get-go. And those skills will continue as you grow them to be the most important skills as you grow your business. So don't worry about, your website. Don't worry about your business name. Just get started focusing on how to find opportunities and then how to talk to those people.
Love it, man. Isn't it crazy, right? That we keep hearing the same thing over and over again. As far as, you have to line up, certain things, the stuff that's worked for years, the stuff that keeps working going forward now and I think forever, right? There's a lot of shiny objects out there. There's a lot of easy ways to get derailed from the focus and doing the daily thing. And I feel like trying to cut that learning, that I guess that trench work, it's usually what puts people out of business before they even get some real traction. But I mean, what you're saying is dead on, dude. It's spot on. It's the same thing that we saw Spencer do right now live, right? Working the stuff that works and staying focused on the few things that matter. It's huge.
There's a saying, and I'll look it up here in a second when you guys are talking, but it's like we need to be reminded more than we need like learn, expand or something. You know what I mean? It goes back to the focus, right? It's just reminder, because things are exciting. This is an exciting business, and there's so many different things that we can do. But it comes down to conversations and offers. It comes down to finding deals and negotiating deals, right?
Yep.
Same thing, just different skin on it. And that's how we get started. Let me ask you this, Dean. You have your little sister, little brother, your cousin, your friend, your best friend comes to you and says, I want to start wholesaling. I got no budget. Do you have them making offers on the MLS? Do you have them talking to agents? Do you have them talking direct to property owners? What do you have them doing?
Yeah, my favorite strategy is to network with other wholesalers in the business. Okay.
So Dispo model.
And here's the deal. When you can focus on how can you add value to other people, and I shout this from the mountaintops all the time, how can I add value to other people? Doors open in other ways they haven't before. If you're just focused on, hey, let me sell your deal, hey, let me see if I have a buyer for it, you can get deals. There's no doubt about it. But when you focus on, hey, what are you working on? How can I help you on your deals? How can I add value? It's amazing. And so that's something that I've done in my business. And some of my students, there's one in particular, I'll shout him out, Brian Valencia, is a superstar in this area, to the point where when I've called wholesalers, they say, yeah, I'm already working with Brian. Now, Brian started when he was 21 years old, living at home with his parents, no prior real estate experience, spent his last dollar investing in my coaching program and took massive action. And now, 2 years later, I won't say the amount or the number, but he's doing very, very well. And most of it has been built on just networking with other wholesalers and helping them with their deals, not using the excuse that he was new, young, inexperienced. He just added value and gave it everything he had and has blown up. He's done dozens and dozens of deals and done very well for himself. So that's where I would start.
Awesome. You going to do flips this year or what?
Absolutely. Only the best, easiest, cherry-picked deals that we feel great about. I don't want to do any big, long, extensive
more of a
flips.
wholesale strategy.
We will be doing some wholesale strategy. I was just off the phone with my partner just before this call. We're going to be doing more of that this year. But flips have done very well for us in 2024 as we just got focused on, we're going to wholesale the majority of our deals. The best, easiest, no-brainer deals we'll do. Our best deal that we flipped this last year, we made $165,000 net. And the sales price, the sales price was $349,000. So this wasn't $1 million property. This wasn't this was a $349,000 property. We made $165,000 net on. So that can just tell you that we got a great deal.
I am telling you this.
Were you direct to seller on that one?
We were, yeah.
Rhetorical, right? Like it's really hard to find that kind of spread if you're not direct to seller, man. I'm a huge
no, you can get those on the MLS.
Yeah.
No, you cannot. But I will tell you this: the rocket fuel for the real estate business is massive deals.
Yeah.
Right, Dean.
100%.
I mean, you close a deal like that, the whole team goes bananas. The whole team's like, it breaks everybody's brain. Now, all of a sudden, they're trying to get the bigger deals. They're trying to go push it all the time. They're trying to break
100%.
that record. They're like, I remember the first time Chad, who's my junior acquisition manager, he got a deal and we closed it and we made like $111,000. And it was a phenomenal deal. And he did it start to finish and just did the whole thing because the lady was from Arkansas. He's from Arkansas. So we just kept it with him and didn't go to Ryan, who's my closer. And it was just this beautiful deal. And ever since then, he's like, we got to beat it. 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 We got to do more. We got to hit 150. Now we got to do a $200,000 deal this year. And we're like, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? But that really gives you the boost. And when I say that 75% of your income comes in 2 quarters, 75% of your income in real estate statistically throughout all the years typically comes in chunks in 2 quarters. That's what happens. It's because you get those big, massive deals that really give you a lot of momentum. But also you got to be careful because you don't want to make big investment decisions in those times because you gotta have dry powder for the lean times for sure.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And that's something that people need to understand. It's not, oh, I do, $50,000 every single month, like clockwork, bippity boppity boo. It just doesn't happen until you turn into Spencer Caldwell, who we just had on, Dean, who he disposed 3 deals every single day for people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yep.
Insane
awesome.
average.
So you say if you're starting out, just just focus on building your cash buyer database. Are you using investor base or no?
We are using it at some times. Yes.
Now, would you suggest it for people that don't have a cash buyer database to be able to download all those
100%.
cash buyers?
Yeah. If you don't have a cash buyer database, you need to accelerate your speed in which you find the buyers that are active and doing deals. Investor base is an incredible tool, very affordable as well, to be able to just see who's being active. How can I contact them as quickly as possible? It does a great job.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other tools that you think are really outstanding going into 2025 that we should know about?
I mean, I'm on the advisory board of Simply, and I couldn't live without it. I looked high, long, far, wide to find what I thought was the best CRM, and I'll shout from the mountaintops. I love Simply and have been using it for about 4 years, and they've had tremendous advancements that they've made, and where they're going is going to be an absolute disruptive tool. So I love it, and I always recommend it to anybody I come in contact with.
Do you need a CRM when you're getting started?
Look, I used Google Sheets for 5 years. Okay. Was it efficient?
I would just,
Did I have some deals fall through the cracks? I'm sure I did. If I could do it all over, would I have used a CRM like Simply? 100%. But do you absolutely need it? If you're watching this and you're putting pennies together to get started, like I was when I started from scratch after retiring from the NFL, I 100% believe you can hustle and get deals moving forward.
Awesome. Dean, how can people find out about your group and about you and all that?
Yeah. So guys, if you want to be in contact with me, you can find me on Instagram at Dean Rogers Real Estate. You guys can always check out all the stuff I do at deanrogers.com. I've got coaching. We've got events. Deal Champs is an event that I do. We have local meetups in Central California.
I'm glad.
What's your next one?
Listen, Dean, I'm glad that you finally started actually, promoting your own brands on your shirts, because all you wear is a black long sleeve, like flannel tight shirt all the time with nothing on it. And I'm like, bro, you're a billboard. What are you doing? You're like 7 feet tall. What are we talking about? Let's go.
I know. There's only one shirt you own in your closet. It's TTP. But Deal Champs right here, guys. We have an annual event coming up. We had the pleasure of having Brent this last year. Absolutely crushed it. The people loved him, of course. We have our next coming up April 4th and 5th in Fresno, California. We're going to have Pace Morby there. We're going to have Dolph DeRoos. We're going to have so many incredible guests. It's going to be, you can't miss it. It's a can't miss event. You're going to come out of there on fire. There's going to be 600 plus people at this one. It's going to be even bigger than the last. And these are the events that change your lives, right? You've got to be networking and being around other people, because if you're listening to this and you're just getting started or even in the business, being an entrepreneur is a lonely world, right? There's not many people that are like us. We are the 1% of the people that are thinking differently. So you want to be surrounded around other people that want to see you be successful.
Awesome.
Love it.
Dean Rogers, guys. There you go. Go get some rest, because you're about to not get sleep for the next 18
months.
years. So good to see you, Dean.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See you,
Catch
bro.
later.
All right. Awesome. We got 2 more questions, and then we are going to wrap this up. I don't know what's happening here. Here we go. Joe asked, what's happening, Ralph and Brent? Question for Ralph. What are your Raph? What are your steps for driving for dollars to door knocking, skip tracing, contacting, negotiating, closing deal with escrow to wholesale? Thank you both.
All right. So step by step, the first one would be, I'll start with door knocking, just kind of hone in on that. But pull the list, right? You don't want to hit everybody and their mom on that list. You want to do a little bit of research, especially because you're driving around all over the place. So pull a list, Figure out which one has cross-reference. You can look at PropStream, batch leads, and cross-reference to see which ones have potential equity on them. Property Radar is pretty good about that too. So you'll see which ones have, some type of equity, and then map out a hit list, right? So tomorrow's route is going to be 25 homes, do 25, put 25 homes on your daily roster and make it a goal, right? To hit the 25 and run through them. If you hit 1 or 2, it's going to take you 12 years to have a conversation with the seller.
Yeah.
You have to, it's a volume game. So do that first. The skip tracing, we skip trace, we have in internal skip tracing now on our software. You can do a single skip trace through even batch leads, right? So just put the address in there and then pull the name, the ownership, and contact them like that. Again, what I mentioned earlier was hitting the people at the door and then making sure that you get the phone number from them. So if you have an asset, a resource, or something that you can send them as a leave behind, it's a lot more powerful to text it to them at the door, because now you have their contact info than to just leave, some paper behind. We do both. Don't get me wrong. We do both. We leave a leave behind, but we also get their phone number by sending them a text message from that. Negotiation. I mean, it's always going to be a value add. I mean, I think that turns into a rabbit hole, but it's think about the value add. What's the situation that's happening? Is it a divorce? Is it a probate? Is it an inheritance? Is it what's the deal? What's going on with this property? That's where the negotiation really kicks in. And then as far as escrow, I mean, that's a pretty straightforward process. You got to figure out what one of the things that we do. If it's a probate deal, for example, right? My probate attorney, I get checklists from everybody. So if I have a probate deal, I have a checklist for probate deals. And before we send that stuff over to get worked on, we have everything on the checklist that makes everything move faster, if that makes sense. So
boom.
There you go.
Anthony,
thanks for the question. It was a really good question, Joe.
For cold calling, would you use Deal Machine single line dialer or maybe a batch triple line dialer to get more dials in? Triple. Yeah, for sure. More people you talk to, more deals you're going to do.
It's 3 times the results.
That's right. Awesome show, guys. Awesome show.
Well stacked.
Let's bring everybody in here. Alejandra's back. She's going to come in. Matt, Luke behind the camera. Matt running all the 1s and 2s, whatever that means. I'm trying to be cool. Well, you go here, and I'm going to go on the board here. Guys, bring it in. Bring it in, everybody. We love you.
What's up, lady?
We love you right here. I like me. That's the goal. Switch. Sorry, I have Matt come over here, and he's the switcher.
There you go.
I like me. This is the goal, guys. This was beautiful from Tom. Wealth is more and better options. It's a comparison to others, but success is a good night's sleep. Do you like who you are? Do you like you? That's success. That's incredible. Work on that every single day. I work on it every single day. And I think that that's really the goal of all of this life, is to go out and serve. And by doing that, we get to really love ourselves, really like ourselves. So that is it. Thank you for joining us. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you do subscribe. We come out with incredible conversations and podcasts and interviews throughout the week. We do a live show every Wednesday and Monday. So make sure that you participate in that. And remember this, all right? Keep your house clean, protect your health, and increase your value to the world, and you'll live an incredible life. Love you guys. See you. Or there's